I've wanted to do this video for quite some time. I get probably more questions about my finger combing method than probably anything else. And most of those questions are that they're either having trouble doing it and revert back to using a comb or a brush. And I talk about finger combing, I don't know, probably in almost every video that I do. And I think what happens is because it's kind of mingled in with other things I'm talking about, the information kind of gets, I don't know, maybe blurred in a way. Most of our tangles happen because it's what we do to it. So manipulating properly is going to save you so much time and frustration. I think it's the best method for 4 type hair, especially 4B, and I'm going to say above. But that's a whole nother video. With finger combing, there is a factor of the products that you use, cleaning your hair properly, using the right conditioners, using the right products in the right way. All those things can also affect how your hair looks in tangling. But I'll reserve that for another video as well. So let's just start with finger combing A to Z, the actual technique of using your hands while you're in the shower as your means of detangling. The first thing you're going to do is get your hair completely wet, right? All you're going to do in that stage is just squish. That's it. Is just squish. That's it. Don't worry about what you think you feel. Don't worry about any knots. Just don't start fiddling around looking for knots, trying to do anything with that. Just simply squish the water in to get your hair completely saturated. Once I've squished it completely wet and can separate it fairly easily, part my hair down the middle, and then I do vertical parts. And again, take your time, because once you get to the end and you get that resistance, what do we tend to want to do is just, just force it. But if you just take your time, and I'm going to keep talking so you know this is real time, you see that it will come apart easily. You just have to give these tiny curls and coils a chance to unwind. If you do it too quickly, it's going to lock up on you. Use squirt bottles. Why? So I can dilute my shampoo, especially if you're buying a commercial product. And then simply just massage your scalp. Massage your scalp. What I do next is flat hands, all the way down, all the way down. And that's how I wash the shaft of my hair. I will also give it one of these, because our hair really does act like a sponge, because the coils are so small, so there's a lot of resistance. So by flattening your hair and really rubbing in between your hands and going all the way down, all the way past your ends, will ensure that you're getting that cleanser all the way through without over manipulating your hair and causing more tangles. Sometimes I do this just to get it started, to make sure I'm, getting all the fluff or whatever from my scalp. But for the rest of my hair, it's the same flat hand method. That's it. And again, especially after you wash your hair, you may start to feel areas that feel knotted, feel a little tangled. Don't worry about it at this point. What you want to do first is get the conditioner throughout your hair without manipulating it all. And that's just smoothing it through, getting it in, squishing it in, smoothing it through, getting it in, squishing it in. Very little manipulation. You just want to get the conditioner in your hair, concentrating on the ends, especially if you have longer hair. You want to do that because as your shed hair comes out, you don't want it to get trapped where it usually gets trapped on the ends. You're going to again do the flat hand. Do the flat hand. Really just squishing that conditioner all the way through to the ends. Once I've done that, I finger pull. And finger pulling is just simply using your fingertips. And I go from root and drag my fingers all the way down to the ends. Drag my fingers all the way down to the ends. And here's where I'm really kind of being somewhat aggressive and trying to force all that shed hair out. And if you feel any kind of resistance towards the ends, that's when I will hold that section and just concentrate the finger pulling on the ends until it comes out. And if you have to add more conditioner at this point, do so. You want to create as much slip as possible so that hair will just slip away. So if you have the right conditioner, you'll know because your hair should feel instantly soft from the washing phase. If it still feels a little, you know, if you're not really feeling like it's giving you that slip or it's very soft, you're probably not using the right conditioner for your hair. I don't really focus so much on my scalp at this point because you don't want to start putting things on your scalp after you've just cleansed it. We tend to do leave-ins and conditioners and we tend to be very focused on our scalp. But in all of that, trying to have a healthy scalp, what we're doing is clogging it back up so it never has a chance to breathe and produce its own sebum. Now, if you do come across a tangle that's a little more resistant or a knot, you want to grab a hold of the knot lightly and then try to inch each hair out of that knot, and it will happen. But again, go slow and take your time, because if you rush, you're going to cause that again, and you're going to cause resistance, and you're going to end up breaking your hair off. Once you've finger pulled, you've kind of separated your coils out. I go back with the flat hand method. Go back with the flat hand method. It brings your hair back together and brings your coils back together to create the definition. So flat hand again, smooth it down. Flat hand again, smooth it down. All the way down, all the way around, and that's it. Straight flat hand, that's it. And again, this is just keeping the definition, keeping the hair in the same plane so that you don't retangle the hair by doing any kind of extra manipulation that's unnecessary. And if you think you feel any knotting, you're going to be surprised, but don't worry about it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. If you missed it, the last thing you want to do is, while your hair is free of any product, to try to get it out, because number one, you're going to bust up your curl pattern at this point, and chances are you're not going to be able to free that knot because you don't have anything in your hair to give it that slip. But it's not going anywhere, and chances are you're not even going to be able to see it. So once you rinse, if your hair is long enough, if you want to try to squeeze, I give my hair a shake, a flip, a couple times to try to get the excess water out. Wrap it in a towel for a good 15-20 minutes, half an hour, how much ever time that you have, and let the you know, because your head's going to be kind of warm at that point, and let that kind of steam and everything happening under the towel. Just go ahead and let your hair have that time to absorb that hydration, because the more hydrated your hair is, the softer it's going to feel, and again, the more definition you're going to have. And then once I take the towel off, I just air dry at that point. You don't want to manipulate your hair when it's in the drying phase, because if you start to manipulate, you're going to bust up your curl pattern, it's going to start to look frizzy, and you're probably going to create more knots and tangles. And once my hair is about 50% dry, meaning that, you know, the ends are starting to dry, but it may be still a little damp in here, apply leave-ins away from your scalp about 3/4 of the way to halfway down. You don't need it all in here. Leave your scalp alone, because the more concentrated you have leave-ins near your scalp, the harder it is for your hair to dry, especially over the next few days, because let's face it, we don't wash our hair every day. So, you know, if you just leave this part alone, your hair will dry more effectively. Rub in your leave-in, squish in your leave-in, rub in your leave-in, squish in your leave-in, and that's it. And you're done. And just leave it alone. That's probably the hardest thing to do with this hair. There's something weird about having this hair and having the need to constantly touch what's going on. Let me feel for a knot. If you don't touch it, you won't feel it. If you don't feel it, you won't F with it. You don't F with it, you won't cause knots and tangles. Because I know this issue so well, if there's something that seems like I skipped or wasn't clear, please just let me know. All right? Peace.